So guys, got the first ever MINDMATS meets with Monkey Bottom, EKBJJ North in Sheffield. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, yeah?
Yeah, we just wrapped up some crazy self-defense techniques. Great stuff. So, a few questions to get started. So, what first got you into martial arts? How long have you been training?
My very first outing in martial arts was with my uncle. He's passed away now, but I went to karate with him when I was about 6 or 7. And then the dojo shut, and I carried on training with him, and we did traditional jiu-jitsu. And the big thing for me then was I wanted to do the box splits like Van Damme.
Yeah.
I'd said to my uncle, like running up, like, I want to do the box splits. He's like, okay. So he got me doing the box splits by pushing my shoulders down every week. And eventually I got to do the box splits. I can't do them anymore. But yeah, I did it at the time. And then I had a long time period off. Exams, school, friends, starting work, starting a family. And then I'm a hairdresser by trade, by the way. And one of my clients came in, and he was nagging me to go to a class with him. And eventually I went to a class with him. Greg Rogers, his name. He's a black belt at Rebellion. Now he is. He wasn't there. And that was like December 16 years ago. And I've been doing jiu-jitsu ever since.
Yeah, it's pretty common that, like, especially in the UK, you start doing karate when you're young, in a village or somewhere. Yeah, always in a village.
Always in a village
or wooden floor.
Or a church.
Yeah, church.
Yeah.
And then like life just takes over for a bit, doesn't it? Yeah. Did you know what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was before you started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or did you just sort of say, all right, Greg, well, I'm just going to come with you now?
No, I'd not really got a clue at that point. I'd done traditional jiu-jitsu, so I sort of thought, it's going to be the same. And the gym that I went to first was Hoist Gracie, Yorkshire, Derbyshire, run by Steve Marsden. And I always remember going in and him showing me Hoist fighting UFC 1 and doing the like laying down and getting like several people to lay on top of him and bridging. To show the power of the bridge. Like I said, I'd done traditional as a kid, so I sort of knew the break falls and things like that. And literally, as soon as my feet touched the mat, it didn't matter what it was that I was there to do. I just fell back in love with it straight.
Yeah.
I felt like it was a place that I belonged as such, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, because when we were just training, you were sort of saying about jiu-jitsu for everybody. So is that something that you felt when you were first there, like you can, like with a sport, or not even a sport, martial art, lifestyle like within jiu-jitsu, there is something for everybody in a way?
Yeah, not necessarily first off, because I think because I was a bit green and I was like, I just wanted to like take people's arms off and choke people and things like that, the exciting stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't really focus on diet or the other benefits of it. And I didn't realise the other benefits at the time. But now looking back over the years, like the benefits have really been like being in a group of people that are like-minded, doing a repetitive thing, keeping your mind occupied, like that sort of thing, has been really, really good. And then, like over the last few years, I've really like sort of, since I got my black belt, really, I started like delving into the diet issues and realising that jiu-jitsu really for everybody, like it should be beneficial to everybody in some way, shape or form, regardless of what you do, whether it's the sports or the self-defense or anything. But for me personally, the self-defense is a baseline. Like, that's where everybody should know everything, like the self-defense wise, and then build from that. But that's my personal opinion.
Why do you think it is about Gracie Jiu-Jitsu? Because I know you're more turned toward Gracie Jiu-Jitsu nowadays. That's such a good base for self-defense. Because when we were doing it, I thought nothing that we did had to be super athletic, super explosive, or even aggressive or complicated. It just felt sort of just natural movement, just using a bit of leverage, and it felt safe almost, to be doing it.
Yeah. Well, like Grandmaster Helio was like a slight man. He was like frail, and he developed the leverage to the point that we know it as now. And that for me is like really important, I think, because it means like the smallest person in the room can do it, and the biggest person in the room can do it. Yeah. It's not like spinning upside down. Like some people can invert and some people can't invert. And it looks cool and things like that. But if you can't do it, I like to think that it should be accessible to everybody. Yeah. And you should be able to control the situation without throwing a punch if you don't need to, and calming people down, even down to talking to people, and de-escalating the situation by talking, rather than violence in a way. But Jiu-Jitsu is not violence. Jiu-Jitsu is controlling a situation. For me, it is.
But would you say that by taking up and becoming a part of a community such as Active Jiu-Jitsu Academy, it helps give you a level of confidence in yourself and sort of a bit of self-worth where you can avoid situations like that, because you're, like you were saying to me earlier, talking about posture. Yeah. Instead of just, before we demonstrate the technique, stand and have good posture, being around a group of people that sort of practice that, it's a positive environment. Do you think that would give you, say somebody walked in here for the first time, they could leave that session feeling a little bit more confident, a little bit better about themselves maybe when they're walking on the street?
Yeah, I would hope that when people come to train with us and visit us, that people would leave feeling that way. I know I certainly feel that way these days, but when I very first started, I'd not really got much self-worth about myself at first, and over time that developed, and now I feel that the way I portray myself and the way I am with newcomers especially, and the way we do the fundamentals classes and things like that, I feel that whether you come and you learn how to start standing and defend a big overhand right, or whether you're learning how to take somebody down and control somebody on the floor, you should have that little bit more confidence about yourself. I've developed that over time, though. So.
Yeah, and it's like you said, the way you started, I think looking more to now you look at the diet side of things. I guess being around a bunch of people that are interested in being healthy, being positive, looking after themselves, it spreads onto you as well. It helps you feel like that way. So even if, for example, if I'll go to the Jiu-Jitsu Academy or I'll go to my gym and I want to say, I might not be focused on losing weight, but I might just sort of being around them people, I might start looking at what I'm eating a little bit more. And if I've got a question to ask, I can ask somebody who knows. Somebody who's experienced it.
Yeah, 100%.
So would you say training martial art helps your overall well-being?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, well, I mean, when I first started training, I used to drink, I used to smoke, I was overweight. I was about 17 stone when I first started, and then I stopped smoking after about a year. It might not have been that, it might have been after about 6-7 months actually, thinking about it. And when I stopped smoking, I ballooned up to 18 stone. Yeah, because my taste buds came back and I started enjoying food. And then I decided that I wanted to test what I was learning. And I'd already done a couple of grappling tournaments. So I did the Gracie Invitational in 2004 and 2005. And then I received my blue belt of a hoist in 2005. and I decided that I wanted an MMA fight.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to test it with strikes, with everything. For no other reason other than me. I didn't want to do it for the club. I didn't want to do it for hoist. I didn't want to do it for jiu-jitsu. I wanted to do it for me.
You set yourself a challenge,
I set myself a challenge, a goal, yeah. And the guy who got me ready for my very first MMA fight, Paul Chapman, said to me, lose weight, I'll get you a fight. So I set the goal and I started losing weight, and I did it completely wrong. I completely just cut everything out, and 3 months in I was shaking, I was dithering, and Paul was like, take protein, have creatine, start doing this, and then the fight got cancelled anyway. I was like, oh, but I carried on.
Yeah.
So I'd gone from 18 stone in the January to 15 and a half stone in the March, I think it was. Right, so it was quite a drop. And then I carried on and I got to 15 stone. So my first MMA fight was 15 stone. Then I carried on losing weight.
Yeah. It's like you started forming, eventually, even though you did it wrong first, you start forming good habits.
Yes, that's right.
You can almost start to just feel better about yourself in total, because you see yourself as somebody, you can almost like transform, don't you? Become like something. I found when I first started competing and I lost a lot of my weight. It's not always about weight loss, but it's just having that direction and that goal and thinking, oh, I've achieved something. You see that and you're like, well, maybe I can achieve this, maybe I can achieve that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, we're talking about overall well-being, but for the mind part of MINDMATS, so did you think that training for jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, some kind of martial art is definitely beneficial to your mental health? It makes you feel...
Oh God, yeah, 100%, yeah, because like, for me, like, it really calms me down, it really sorts my head out. It didn't, like, it took a long time to like sort everything out, but at least over the last, I would say, 6 or 7 years now, it's really sort of, I've really plateaued, and I'm a lot calmer than I used to be. And
finally, if you give yourself one piece of advice, like say on your first ever day in jiu-jitsu, what would it be?
100%, definitely tap soon. Just don't be stupid, just tap soon. Because you just let yourself go too far too soon, or you end up breaking something, or you think, I can last this choke, and boom, you're out.
So like shed the ego sort of thing.
Shed the ego, definitely. Yeah. It's always a fundamental thing in jiu-jitsu gyms, no ego. But people always start with ego, just try not to have any. So that's all.
Brilliant. Thanks, mate.
No problem.
Awesome. Cheers.
Cheers.